Alright guys, first of all, don't let this job complicate you and get you all screwed up. What we're gonna do is take one side at a time. Now, we're looking at the valve cover, and you want to look at what's in front of that valve cover, which is stopping you from taking it off. So we got this whole wiring harness right here, wiring harness under there, got a little harness right here. Alright, it's a complicated job. Forget it, let's go home. No, let me stop. Let's get this done. First thing we do, grab you a 10 millimeter wrench. And you're going to go over here and disconnect the negative battery terminal. You're going to loosen it up. You twist that back and forth, pop that off. Make sure it don't snap back into place, so you want to make sure you tuck that down to the side where it can't come back up. Alright, now we are ready. Now the best way to do this, what I like to do, is when you see a lot of stuff like this, you start from one end of the valve cover and you start walking yourself around, and anything that's in the way, alright, I need to disconnect it. So right now, check this out. We come right to this big harness right here. And we go up here and we can see that this, cool, look at this. One big plug. So, to disconnect this plug, you got a little latching assembly right here. This latch, you push down on this little tab right in the center, unlatch it, bring it back, and unplug it. Look at that, guys. Get that out of the way. There we go. Got that out of the way. That is good. The next thing we got, go around here, we got this little purple wire. This stuff is dry rotting everywhere. We got this purple wire. Now this purple wire goes all the way around to the front of the engine to the oil pressure switch. So I'm not going to worry about that yet, because this harness also goes right up into this right here. So let's get this harness out of the way, which goes right to the alternator. It looks like this is broken off. I don't know what happened there. But we're going to have to disconnect everything from the alternator. The first thing you want to do, you want to make sure you have get you a flat screwdriver, and you're going to pay attention to this because you're going to need to do this procedure in other parts of this job. On this connector right here, you see a little red tab right there. You cannot unplug this without releasing that. So you'll take your screwdriver and push that back just a little bit. Goes back like that. Then there's a tab right here that you're going to push down and make sure this thing, there you go, now it's all the way back. You want to push down on this tab, the black one inside, and then unplug it. So I'm going to take my screwdriver, push that down, unplug it. The next thing we're going to do is get us, I don't know what size is this. Get the plug right here, which is, looks like a 13. Dang it. Get this out of the way. Okay, a 13 millimeter. Remove this nut, and I'm gonna get my 3/8 drive ratchet. Remove this nut, take the wire off, and just put the nut back up there loosely so we don't misplace that. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got this up. The harness is out of the way. Put the nut back up here. That's cool. Now, the next thing you want to do, we want to move this harness out of the way. We follow this harness back, and it's going on to this little clip right here, this special clip going on to one of the valve cover bolts. That's all you want to do is twist that back and forth and pop that right up. Also, follow it down on the other valve cover bolt down here. I'm going to point to it so you can see it. Right there.
Right. Oh, on this side.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's kind of difficult to get to, but we need to pick that one up as well. And of course, you can see it's giving me a difficult time. And if it gives you a difficult time like it's giving me, we gotta get that up. We're gonna get us a pair of hose pliers and pull that up. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Be right back. Alright guys, got a pair of hose pliers here. Hose pliers will go in there and they'll be able to grab that and pick that right up, just like that. Cool. We had got that out of the way. Bring that down to the side. Take this wiring harness, bring it over here to the side of the battery. to tuck it out of the way. And now, here's our purple wire. This stuff is all just coming apart right here. What we need to do is get that now. And if you come over here to the, go on this side, to the front of the engine, down here, you'll see the oil filter, and right above it, you'll see a connector.
A connector. Okay, I think I see it.
All right, what, let me see if I can reach my hand down there.
That's not it.
Right there.
That belt's in my way.
Somehow you're gonna have to put right between this.
What?
Hold on, let me see. Where's the oil filter? Yeah, there it is, right there. There's the connector.
Oh, okay.
All right, and on the top of that connector, you see a little tab. What you want to do is reach your hand in there, squeeze that tab in towards the connector, and pull back. All right, and I'm gonna have to get in the way here, so reach my hand in here, get that unplugged. And it's gonna be it's a tight fit to get in here. And if you have a hard time getting it, like I am, I'm gonna grab my hose pliers or needle nose. You can't see it there, can you?
No, I see your pliers, but I'll be in the way.
Oh. Alright, so we're gonna get this disconnected, guys, and we'll be right back.
Oh, wait, I think I got a little piece of it.
Oh, you do? I think these are too long. Let me get the longer ones. Be right back. Alright, guys, I got you a view up under the vehicle so you can see our sensor. And there it is right there. And I'm going to squeeze that tab in towards the connector and unplug it. There we go. That purple wire is now loose. Alright, let's go back to the top. Be right back. Alright guys, we got it disconnected. Now, over here at the valve cover bolt again, we took one tab off. Now we got to reach down there with our hose pliers and we got to pick up on the other one right there. So that's going on to that valve cover bolt. Get this thing down to the, pick up the connector and lean that to the side. Yeah, we're looking good now. The next thing we're gonna do, this whole harness is in our way. I need to get this out of the way. So what we're gonna do now is start following from up here. We got the ignition coils. To disconnect the ignition coils, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 right back here. To disconnect those, what you're gonna do is a tab right on the top. Push that tab in towards the connector. You're gonna push the tab in towards the connector, just like that, and you can see the front part spring in, and unplug it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so let's get those disconnected, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the 4 plug coil ignition coils disconnected. The next thing we're gonna do is go for our fuel injectors, and get this wiring harness. Get this over here, right here. Now here's our first fuel injector right here, and remember I told you about those red tabs right there? Look at that right there. There's one right there. And what you want to do, what you have to do, is try to pick that up towards you. And if it's, you might have to get a little flat screwdriver and get in there and pop that up just like that. And on the other side of this, there's going to be another tab that you push in towards the connector and unplug it. Push it in and unplug it. Let me turn that around and show you. There's the tab right there. You want to pick the red tab up and then push that tab in towards the connector and unplug it. All right, that's number 1. Now, as we follow back, you're going to see one of those one of those whatever you want to call. Oh, this is broken off here anyway, but we're gonna need that off anyway, and that's what you have to do, just twist that back and forth and pull that right off. This one's broken off of here, but yours is gonna stay on. And then you just keep going back, and then we get to our next injector right there. Now right now our fuel line is in the way, so we're gonna get that fuel line out of the way. And what you want to do is it's got this little safety latch on it. So what you want to do here is pop that off of there on both sides. Pop that up and get that off of there, and it's going to stay right on the line. It's got its own little cable and all. Now you need a special tool to take this off, to disconnect this in here, because inside of there there's like a spring thing that grabs on to that fuel rail. And what I got is a fuel line disconnect, and I got one of these, and you can also get little plastic ones for $9 for the whole set, and they would work just as fine. And what they do is go inside there like that. Push it, you know, before we do that, because there's going to be some gas coming out of there. Let's get us a rag and stick up under there. Okay. You're going to push this towards into the line till it stops. And then your other hand is going to slowly pop that right off. Okay, not that much gas came out of there, and that's cool. So that way we can push our fuel line over to the side, and we can continually work with our wiring harness. So we're going to go ahead, get our screwdriver in there, go on the other side of this, pop that latch off, pop that latch up. And you might be better if you get a longer screwdriver. Dang it, because this little one just don't seem to be... There it is. Pop that up. Squeeze that tab in on the side. And unplug it. Yeah. And unplug it. Yeah, right. What the heck, man. I got to make sure I got this up all the way. Okay. Dang it. Now, sometimes, gotta check this out. Sometimes you might have a little problem like that reaching to it. This is where you get your hose pliers. Get your hose pliers in there and use your hose pliers to carefully squeeze that tab in, and use your other hand to unplug it. Just that easy. Look at that. Check that out. Yeah, buddy. Alright, so let's go back there. Make sure I don't... These hose pliers come in handy. Make sure I don't lose my tool down in there. Get my tool out of there. Alright, then we're going to go back. Get this rag out of the way. And as we go up, as we disconnect things, we're going to have a lot more room. So we got one more back here and one more back there. Alright, and then we can actually move our fuel injectors to the side just a little bit. See, I can turn that injector. You definitely want to turn those injectors, because what's going to happen is if you leave them out there like that, if you leave them like that, that valve cover is going to come up and break those injectors. Then you're going to be looking crazy in the face, and you don't need to be doing that doing this job. So just turn them to the side. Now there's going to be a little resistance on this, because that's because of the O-rings in there, been setting for so long. You can see I got this one over here. Just turn them to the side, and that's it. Alright, so let's get our other ones done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got them disconnected. We turned our fuel injectors to the side. Everything is, you can see in there good?
Right. I can see the first one. And
well, once I move this out of the way, we'll see them better. Alright, now all this wiring harness that we got disconnected. Oh, you know, before we do that, you see there's a big hose back here. That's going to your brake booster. What you want to do is just take that hose from back over here, and you're just going to pop that out of the brake booster.
just by pushing it?
Pulling on it. Yep.
Oh, you pulled it.
Yep. And it disconnects. Turn it to the side. Now right here, I got me a tie strap. So what I'm gonna do is take my wiring harness and all, and you might not need it. What you gotta do here is tuck all this over to the side to make sure it's out of our way. Make sure we go over this valve back there. Oh, I don't even need nothing. Just like that. Look at that. And here's our purple wire going down to our oil pressure sender. Let's just get that tucked out of the way. And there we go. Look at that, guys. We're looking at the valve cover now. Nothing's in our way. All our fuel injectors is turned to the side to make sure we don't break them. We take it off. Now, the next thing is very, very, very important, guys. You see all this dirt and stuff up here? We need to get that out of there before we take this valve cover off. So I'm going to get an air line, blow all this out, clean this up real, real good. And after that, the next important thing you're going to need is, what the heck is it? You're going to need you a universal swivel 3/8 drive, and you're going to need, you know, I'll tell you in a few minutes. Let's get this blow it off and all that, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, check that out. We got that nice and clean. Now, as you saw, I pointed it with a marker. Check this out. You're going to need a marker now. The valve covers are held on by 12. Dang it. Well, actually, 8 bolts. Well, 12 bolts. Let's say 12 bolts. That's good enough. All right. Now, you're going to notice some of them have studs on them. Some bolts have studs. So we need to make sure we put those studs back to where they belong, because those are where the little clips go at to hold our wiring harness into place. So what you want to do is take your little marker. You can go ahead and mark the valve cover right there, so you know where those go. 2, 3, and I'm going to mark one right about here, because there's one down there also. Now, here's where the fun begins, guys. This is very important. Go over here and let's look at this. The first thing, what is this called again?
The pull driver.
Grab yourself the pull driver. Yeah, get you a nut driver from Harbor Freight or something, and get you the adapter set. It's like $5 that you can put in 1/4 inch, 3/8, or 1/2 inch drive sockets. So you just pick the front of it up, put it in there, locks it right into place. That's what you're going to need first of all. The next thing you're going to need is a 2-foot long extension, 3/8 drive extension. Yeah, buddy, look at that extension. All right, the next thing you're going to need, swivel sockets on this. We got a swivel 10mm 3/8 drive, and that's not going to be able to get to the long one with the studs on the end of it. So you got a swivel 3/8 extension with a 10mm deep socket. Let's get that first. We're going to connect our extension onto it, grab our pull driver, 3/8 drive on it. We're going to go over here, and the first thing we're going to do is get to those studs. Now, let's get to the difficult one first. This difficult one right over here. You're going to get your socket into there. I don't know, can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Matter of fact, go right here on this side. You can see straight down into there.
Nope. Okay. Wow, that's deep in there.
Yeah, it sure is. That one we're going to get to first, since that's the most difficult one. We got it set up. Wait, you can come back out now. We got out, and you can pay attention to how I got my extension on. And get my nut driver up here. And buzz that right off. And just in case so it don't drop or nothing, what I'm going to do is go in here and reach with my other hand. I'm going to just, okay, it stayed right in there. That's great. It's great. Now, to get that out, you can either try to get in there with your hand, or get you a pair of needle nose. It'll be the same. Or it might stay up in the valve cover. Oh, great. These are the ones that stay up in the valve cover. Cool. So we just have to loosen that up. Make sure it don't come out. That is cool. So it stays right there. That is great. All right, so we're gonna go up here now, and we're gonna loosen up the other ones. See, now you see, I thought it came out of there, but it don't. It stays right there. That is perfect. So you know what, guys? Dang, what the heck is on me? What the heck holding me? All right, so let's get the other two. And you can see why that a universal, that swivel, is so important. All right, let's change over to our shallow 10 millimeter. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you now the top ones. I don't have to show you. Those are real easy. But right down here, here's one. See how important that swivel is? And then we follow along the line. And there's our other one. Right there. Dang it. Now the problem with this is, you can see where I'm at?
Yeah.
The problem with this is, my extension is way too long. So check this out. I can't even get this up here. So what I gotta do is now get my regular 3/8 drive ratchet and take this one off. So let's go around and remove the rest of those bolts. We'll be right back. All right, guys, got all our bolts up. Take me a little screwdriver here, and I'm gonna go to the corner of the valve cover, and I'm just gonna pop that up just like that. Okay. Let's pick our valve cover. Dang it! It was the bolt that I didn't put in, that had used by a ratchet. I ain't got it out all the way. There it is. Okay. Pick this up. Wow, this is gonna suck. Because this thing is not gonna come out of here, which means I'm gonna have to get this out of my way. So this whole harness right here, I'm not gonna, but this whole box right here, the power distribution box, we're not gonna have to disconnect any wires or something. Got little tabs on it right here. Just push them tabs out and pick it up. Same thing on this side. And pick it up. And there's 4 all together. Pick that up and gonna pull that over to the side. Give us enough room to walk this valve cover out of here. Look at that. Yeah, boy, we are good. We are good to go. All right, next thing we do, we're gonna flat screwdriver out. Take our flat screwdriver, go in there, and just gonna dig in there and get a piece of that valve cover out of there. Sometimes it's hard to work with gloves. And gonna pull that whole thing out of there. So let's pull that out and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got that off, but we're not done yet. All these bolts right here, what you gotta do is take you a little screwdriver and you wanna pop each of them out, because your new gaskets will also come with new grommets. Yeah, so you need to change them. Now, you guys, you do not have to change them because the gasket is inside here. So there's no way oil gonna leak out through that way. So you really don't have to change them unless... No, you don't. But we are going to change them because they're in the kit. And to change these, the easiest way, guys, get you a pair of snips, wire cutters here, something. Cut it off. And I know this is like time consuming and all. And sometimes it's hard, especially working with, I got brown jersey gloves on under these gloves.
Because it's very cold.
It's not very cold.
It's very cold.
Dang it! I gotta sit here and do every one like this. I'm gonna go through those like you wouldn't believe when we're off camera. Give me the screwdriver. Yeah, watch I stab myself. At least the blood won't run too much because... Alright. Got that off. Pull that off like that. Now you might want to take a little lithium or something to put on the end of that. I'm gonna try one without it, being that they're brand new. They should be pretty flexible. And what you want to do is take it just like that. Make sure the smaller end is towards the end of the bolt, and just pop those right on, just like that. All right. Now you can take all of them out and do them all at the same time, because remember we did mark our valve cover where the ones with the studs go, so we can do that. Or you can go ahead and do one at a time, and then you just push those back into place till it. Let me do that again. Just push that in there just a little bit till it's flush, and it's going to stay right there. All right, so let's get all those done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, you can see we got all new grommets on all the bolts. The next thing we do is get you some carburetor cleaner or something, and you want to spray inside where the gasket's going to set. Get that oil out of there, and spray that up. Now you can let it dry, but what I'm going to do is take my air and clean that and blow that out and dry it up. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, the first thing we're going to do is put our gasket into place. Now, when you get your new gaskets, let me see some of here. See how this old one, see how it has a little tab on the end of it? And if you look closely, there's a letter L marked on that for the left side. So I was just looking at this one. This one has a tab, but there's nothing on the tab. But on the right side, here, about like that.
Okay.
It has the R. So we got our left side. Let's match this up. And with these gaskets are pretty cool, because once you get them lined up, however way they go, okay, it's going to go like that. Start on one corner, and you're just going to push that gasket down into place and continue working the gasket around. And the gasket is going to stay in there. Just make sure that thing is definitely down in there. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, check that out. That is looking great. Now, the only thing we do now is going to flip this over, and we're going to stick our bolts into place. Now, remember, we got a yellow mark right there. So I know we got one with a stud that's going to go right there. And that's all we have to do is push that till it's flush. And it's going to stay right into place. Keep on going around and putting the rest of them in. All right, let's get that done. And once we do that, matter of fact, get you a nice clean rag. Come over here to the engine. Make sure it's a nice clean rag. And you're just going to wipe around where the old gasket was at. And being very careful not to get no dirt or nothing inside of there. It's a nice clean engine inside. Just going to wipe this around and clean that up. All right? You can see that was nice and dirty too. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are ready to set our valve cover in. We got all our bolts in, our new gasket, and we're going to carefully bring this down. Cool. Carefully bring it over. Make sure our bolts, the bolts up here, is lining up with the holes in the cylinder head. Great, great, that is perfect. Now, the next thing we do, where the heck is the tool? Oh. I am taking my 2-foot 3/8 drive extension with my swivel 10mm 3/8 drive socket, and what I'm gonna do is go here, and I'm turning this by hand to make sure it's lined up. This one, great, and I'm gonna go around all the ones that I can reach, and I just want to turn it in by hand by a few threads to make sure it's going in and make sure it's not being cross-threaded, which is very important, because if that thing is cross-threaded, you are in a world of trouble. And once I get these started, I'm gonna get my deep 10mm with our 3/8 universal swivel, and we're gonna do the ones with the studs on it. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all of them started. That's great. Now we're gonna tighten them up. Now to tighten them up, we're gonna start from the center bolts and work our way out. We're gonna go 1, 2, then come up here to 3 and 4. You see how I started with a clockwise? 1, 2, 3. Let me get my hand out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now to tighten these up, this is very cool, because the way they're made, they can only go down but so much. So I got my swivel right here, and I'm using my 3/8 drive ratchet, and you want to tighten down till it stops. And when it stops, a little bit more, and that's it. Do not try to over tighten this. Now the reason why you're starting with the bottom ones down here first is because when all the oil comes up in this valve cover, most of that oil is going to set down towards that part. So we're going to make sure this side sets down first and really tight. All right, going to do another one. Stops. A little bit more. Done. Then I'm gonna go up to these two, and then this one I gotta switch over to my deep. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So I gotta switch over to my deep and go ahead and tighten this one up, and then I'm gonna go to this one, and then I'm gonna go around again on the outer 4, and then on the last 4 on the outside, tighten them up. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the valve cover down. This is great. Next thing we're gonna do, remember we had to pick up this power distribution box and set it back down on our clips over here. Lock that into place. Next thing we're gonna do, oops, nope, before we do that, let's take our fuel injectors and turn them all out now. Sure this one is, and make sure all the clips are lined up into place. Okay, let's get our light. Make sure that if you look right there, there's clips right there. I want to make sure all the clips are facing out there, and that's good. That's good. That one's good. Yeah, that looks good. And our coils are set. All right, you know, let me put some green gloves on. We'll be right back. All right, guys, got my gloves on. Let's get our wiring harness and slowly lower this down. Now, remember, we're going to start from the back to the. Get this one. Okay, over here like this. All right, let's get our back fuel injector plugged up. Now it's easier to work from the back and work your way forward. All right, push that down. Lock that little red tab into place. Okay, work up into our next one. Lock that down into place. All right, it's our coil wires. And let's go up to this one. Push it down, push the red tab into place, and then our last one. Lock it down, push our red tab into place. Now we're gonna go back again, and what we're gonna do here is you got our clips that hooks onto the valve cover bolt studs. Gonna make sure we push them on. And which one? This one was one that was broken off. We got that somewhere, but that ain't gonna hold up anyway. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is connect our coils. Get all 4 of our coils connected. Let's get this harness out of the way here. Okay, You want to make sure you push that on, and you want to make sure it does not come off like that. Let's get our fuel line over here out of the way so we can really get this plugged up. Push that on tight enough where it will not come off, because it's got little rubber boots, rubber grommets in there to keep my moisture out. So it might be kind of difficult to push that forward like that. All right, so we're gonna get those 4 hooked up, and our fuel line, that's all it does. You don't need the special tool anymore. That's all you have to do is push it on, and it'll snap right into place. Just like that. Take the safety connector, put it in there like that, and then push it down the line. All right, let's get our coils connected, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are looking good, man. If you up to this point so far, I am so proud of you, and you got to get a yeah, buddy. All right, the next thing we do, let's grab our vacuum hose over here, going on to our brake booster, and that's how it's got the little tab, just like this, just like a little nipple goes in, just like that. That's how you just wiggle it and pull it off. And this one, you're gonna wiggle it and push it back in there. Great. The next thing you're gonna do, grab our wiring harness over here, this big plug, bring it over to the side, and we're gonna just leave that there for now. Now, this long purple wire, drop that purple wire down there to the side, and hey man, we gotta bring this part up to the purple wire, because this right here, that stud over here on the valve cover, is gonna go onto that bolt, and it's gonna connect just like this. Just push down on it. All right, so get this around like this. Get us enough room right there, and bring this down and push that on. We'll be right back. All right, guys, if we look down there, you see I got it on, but now I got the other one going to that other harness, which I'm gonna have to pick up and get that over there and push that down. Perfect, man. That is perfect. All right, let's get our harness right here that's going to our alternator, bring that around, and it's going to go onto the stud on this valve cover right here, but we're not going to hook that. Well, I guess we can put it up there and get it ready. Then, well, this little red tab, if you look at this little red tab, it came, that little red tab pulled forward. I got to make sure we pull that back out before we connect that, or it won't go on. Reach over here, plug the back of the alternator up, and once it's plugged up, then we can push that tab forward. Then we got our 13mm nut over here. We're gonna put this on, push this tab down now. Now it's all the way. All right, let's put this on, tighten it up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, last 2 things. One, we got this big connector over here. Let's plug this up, and remember this latching assembly. It just brings back, latches into place, and we got 2 little Christmas tree studs right here. And on this bracket, there's actually the holes for where it to be at. So we're gonna bring that down, plug that up into place. Last but not least, the purple wire. I'm gonna go up underneath, plug our oil temperature sensor, oil pressure sender up, and we will be done with this side. Leave your battery disconnected, because next we gotta go to the other. Whoops. Can't give customers free tools, man. That ain't cool. All right, let's get that done, and we're moving on to the next side. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are halfway done. Let's get this other side done. The first thing we're gonna do is get this whole tube out of this air tube out of the way. You got either 5/16 or an 8mm clamp right here. Got a little screw oil up there. What the heck? Or a flat screwdriver. That's what we're gonna do, is loosen this clamp up. And once you loosen it up enough, over here onto the air cleaner box, it's got 2 clips, one on each side. You're just gonna reach your hand up under here and flip that latch right back. And right here, flip that one back. And you got a hose right here. Just twist this hose and pull it off. And a whole air cleaner. I gotta loosen up this clamp a little bit more. Sometimes, if it gets stuck like that, just take your screwdriver and just go around it to break that seal loose. That won't work. Come on, this way. The manhandle, I think. Alright, let's get that off. Let's get this out of the way. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we do, let's make sure we get our harness out of the way. And we got this harness right here. This front harness right here. This stuff is so brittle. This stuff is just coming off like crazy, but that's not going to do anything. This harness is going to our camshaft position sensor over here and our crankshaft position sensor. So we got to go up underneath and disconnect that because we do not want to be pulling on this harness and messing that up. So let's get up under this vehicle. I'm going to show you where it's at and we'll be right back. Alright guys, first of all, before we get up under here, safety is important. Got it jacked up by hydraulic jack. Got our jack stand right into place. And you leave your hydraulic jack there just in case. Now what you want to do is grab your pole driver. That's right, pole driver. And a 13mm deep socket. 3/8 drive. Because what we got to do here is get this shield out of the way. And the shield is held in by 4 bolts. You got one right here. One right on the other side, which we're going to take out completely. Let me see if this thing will take that out. Yeah. Yeah, look at that pole driver do his job. What the heck? Okay. Get over there. Alright. Now the two in the front, as you can see, you got that big opening right there. We just got to loosen those up. 1, 2. Slide it forward and take that right out of there. As a matter of fact, let's spin that out to the side. Then we can see where we're going. Let me clean this stuff off right here. Alright, can you pass me the light? Alright, let's climb up under here. And right back there, you can see where the oil's leaking from that valve cover up there. Let's see if I can situate this light. Alright, there's our crank sensor right there. And let's see if I can, at the same time, reach up here and film it. You gotta push, the tab is in on that side right there. Squeeze the tab into the connector and unplug it. And what the heck? Gotta get a mirror on there. Make sure there's no, that yellow, that red safety in there. And get that off. And if we go further up, let's go further up. And you can look right, straight up. Let's see if this thing holds into place. Sometimes these lights don't do no good. All right, you look straight up there. You'll see that camshaft position sensor connector. And that's all we're going to do is squeeze that tab in towards the connector and unplug it. So reach my hand right through here. Squeeze it. You know what? This is going to be difficult. There we go. Got that one disconnected. Now we got to go back there and disconnect the crank sensor. And move this thing. You know, I'm going to get this pan out of the way. So I can better get up under there. Get over here. Ah, there we go. Now let's see if I can. I'm going to get a mirror or something. No, it's not. I felt it go in. So why do you have to put that thing like that, man? Dang it. Oh, you know what? Let me get my hose pliers. I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I got my hose pliers in there so I can squeeze the tab on one side. Got it. So good little trick. And there's the tab I was telling you about. You gotta squeeze that tab right there. Squeeze that tab in and get it unplugged. Alright, let's go back to the top. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're gonna do, take our hose pliers and look at that right there. Wait a minute, is that off of there? Yeah, that's off of there. Well, usually what you have to do is take this up. But it's off, so you won't have to worry about this. We're gonna have to get that off, but we can't get that bolt off if this thing's still up there. Alright, so let's slowly pick up our harness. Make sure it comes around. What the heck? Something's stuck on. Dang, I can get up under the end. Let's see. Let me see if I can reach my hand under there. There we go. Oh, there's a little clip right there. Pull that out right there, a little Christmas tree. Alright, lean this over to the side. Oh man, we are looking good. The next thing we do, we got our harness up here. We got to disconnect. This thing is very brittle, man. This covering is really coming off. We got our air temperature sensor right here. There's a little tab right there that you squeeze in and unplug it. Cool. Now we go around to this side. Our AC compressors got a safety, one of the red safety tabs. Push that back. Dang it. And sometimes, guys, sometimes these will break on you. So, just want you to know that if it breaks, you're good to go. Push that back like that. Take this tab, squeeze it down, unplug it. Now we got our map sensor down there, which got another red tab on it. This thing is loaded with these red tabs. Where's our flat screwdriver? Alright, got our flat screwdriver. And what I'm going to do is go in here and slowly pick up on that red tab, just like that. That clip right there, you're going to push that in towards the connector and pick up on it. Unplug it. And to make it easier for you, if you want to remove the whole air cleaner, you definitely can. Because sometimes it would be a lot easier. But what I'm going to do here is do that. Try to get in there. Pick that up. Bogus. Okay, let me get that. I'll be right back. Alright guys, you know what? We're going to make this easy. Let's get this air cleaner, airbox out of the way. This air cleaner is held in by two 10mm bolts. One right up under here. And on the other side. And it's got this clamp in the back going onto the throttle body. So the first thing we're going to do is reach in there and try to locate where that clamp is. I can't hardly see. This sucks. There it is. Okay, we're going to loosen up this clamp and get those bolts out of there. We'll be right back. Alright, now for our bolts. We got a 10mm deep with a 4-inch 3/8 drive extension. We got one right here. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm using the Big Bill ratchet. Yeah, buddy, look at that Big Bill ratchet, the Earthquake XT. Alright, let's get this bolt out of there. And come over here to the other side. We're gonna have our next one. Alright, let's get that out. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we got the bolts out. Next thing we're gonna do, grab right here and grab right here. You want to wiggle the air cleaner. Take that right off just like that. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Look at all that room we got. All right, let's put this to the side and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now we can get to this. Let's squeeze that tab in. Dang it. Dang it. And unplug it. Dang. All right, now we got one more that's got a tab on it also. Now for that one, forget that. We're gonna use our hose pliers. Let me go on this side. We're gonna use our hose pliers to squeeze the tab in.
Where's your light?
Oh. That's good?
That's better.
Alright, squeeze the tab in and unplug it. Okay. Got that off. We'll be right back. Alright guys, you know what? This bar, you might not have to remove it, but I'm getting this bar out of the way. I don't want nothing in my way. Now, to get that bar out of the way, the first thing we'll do, here's our module for our servo for our cruise control. Let's get that unbolted. We got a 10mm bolt right here. I'm using my big bill ratchet with the 10mm. You gotta take that bolt completely out, and as you can see, it's gonna come loose. So let's get that bolt out, and once we do that, if you look go on the other side of this, you're gonna see two 18mm nuts. One right here, and one right there. You see those?
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is take my 18mm deep, 1/2-inch drive, put it up there with a 4-inch extension. Get that. Get my 1/2-inch drive air gun. And what we're gonna do is buzz those out, those two, 1 and 2. And then on the other side, we're gonna have to actually get this harness. We're gonna have to unplug this again. Not unplug it, but just get it out of that and get it out of the way. And you can see our other two right over there. So let's get those 4 out of there, those 4 nuts out of there. We'll be able to take this bar out of the place. Also, and the 10mm holding on the thing for the cruise control. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our 4 bolts out of here. Let's get this bar up. What the heck is over there? Hanging on to the... Wow, this thing sucks, man. Oh, you saw what I did right here, right? This little vacuum hose right here came out of there. It's good. Work this thing out of here, both sides at the same time. This has really gotten to be annoying.
I think that wire tie is connected to that.
Oh, to that bolt. Why is this wire tie up here? I mean, it's not even holding on to anything.
Just in case you need one.
All right. Let's go back over here. All right, let's get this bar out of here, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we getting down there too there. Man, this is a lot. You know, the next thing we're gonna do, guys, because we got to see this big wiring harness going over towards this way. That's going to our computer. So we got to disconnect our computer. You know what? For a better angle, I'm gonna remove the expansion tank. Now you don't have to, but I'm gonna remove it. So what I'm gonna do here is, here's the hose going to our radiator. I'm gonna pull that off. All right, now if we let this drop down, it's gonna drain the antifreeze out. So what you do, get it up here, nice needle nose vice grips. Clamp that off so that won't leak. Now holding this on, we got a little plastic screw right here. You can just pop that off. And we have an 8mm, oh that's 7, bolt right here. Okay. Then come up. Let's put this bolt back into place. So I know it goes there. And there you go. Now you got a better view at it. What we need here is a flat screwdriver because this harness is held down by these little tabs right here. So just get this under here and pop them off. As you can see, it takes a little while, but they'll come up out of there. Get a bigger screwdriver, be even better. Come off like that, great. You know what? This is this plug to the cruise control is in the way, so let's get that unplugged. Got that little safety tab up there, so we're gonna have to get our screwdriver and pop that tab back. Squeeze the tab towards the connector and unplug it. Get that out of the way. You know, if we can get this thing between the line, that'll be great, man. Get it on the other side of this line. That'd be great. There we go. That'd be even better. Yeah, boy. All right, now we got 4 connectors on our computer. On the top of these connectors, you got red safety tabs. You can see them? And what you got to do, yeah, right up there. You might want to go on that side.
Oh, there they are.
Now what you want to do is those tabs got to back up. Just like that. 1, 2, and if you have a little hard time, just use your screwdriver. 3 and 4. Once you got those backed up, now at this time, you cannot cross these connectors up, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you feel comfortable, take your marker and mark each plug. All right, now to unplug it, you got a black tab right there in the back. Squeeze that tab down to the connector and unplug your computer. 1, 2, 3. And matter of fact, just so you feel comfortable, I'm gonna put those back, and I'm gonna get my marker, and we're gonna mark these connectors. Be right back. All right, we got our connectors marked. So now we can go ahead and unplug them. Our whole harness is gonna come around. Now this one right here, you don't have to worry about this. This is a ground wire. Look at this ground wire going. It's going to the back of the head. You can leave that connected. Just make sure that stays out of the way. And if you want, see how it's in my way still? If we want it, we can unbolt it from right there. The 8mm bolt. Matter of fact, get that unbolted. Let's have that going around this way so it can also be out of our way. And then we're going to bolt that right back up. We're going to tighten that up. Make sure you tighten that up. Definitely needs that ground. All right, now our harness is ready to swing over to the side. So now what we're going to do is go over here and start from the front. There's our injector. Got the little tab. Pop that little tab up. This one came out, but that's good. That's good. If it comes out, it is definitely okay. Squeeze the little black tab in and unplug it. There's our connector holding onto the valve cover bolt. I'm gonna pick it up slightly to get it up out of the way. I'm not gonna tug on it yet because I want to disconnect this coil. So push that tab in right there and unplug it. Then we're gonna continue on going down the line. Coil and injector, coil and injector, and coil and injector, and get all those disconnected. Again, if that red tab comes out of there, it is perfectly okay. Even if you lose it, because a lot of times you will lose it and break it, it's still good. Because putting this, if you connect this back, get this thing back over here. If you connect this back and lock it in, you can't unplug that. You're still gonna have to push in that black tab right there to unplug it. All right, let's get all those done. And right here, I might have to use our hose pliers and all. To just grab that and pick those up. Just like that. And also, now, I'm looking at this right here, and it looks like that valve cover will go right by that injector. But I am not taking no chances. I'm going to turn those to the side just like that, each one of them. Because I do not feel like breaking no injector and got to change no injector. Alright, so let's get the rest of them disconnected, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got everything disconnected. Now let's take our, whoops, I have one more injector here. Take our entire wire harness, and I notice back here it's going right around that coil, so I want to make sure I don't damage the plug on that coil. Make sure it goes over that coil. Great. And got the rest of our harness coming from our computer and all. Let's get all this over to the side. Going under our AC lines. Okay, great. Here's our connected little red tabs. Came out for our injectors, so that's good. Let me get them out of the way. That one just, oh, that's good. All right, the next thing we got, get our hose right here. Let's get let's see if this thing pulls off. And of course not. It does twist out. Okay, cool. It just twists out of the way. We can handle that. But we got that bolt back there for the valve cover, which might make it a little bit difficult to get to since that's in the way. So let's use our screwdriver as a little pry bar. Might have to get a better screwdriver. Try to pick that up. Nope. Okay. Let's try the hose pliers. Oh, that's got to be changed. Look at that. That thing all dry rotted. Came up out of there.
What is that hose for?
Breather.
Oh.
So we got that out of the way. Now, the next thing we do is we got our cooling heater hoses over here. So what we're going to do here, we're not going to disconnect them. We're just going to bring them up. And see how they hold over to the side? Let's see if we got anything over here we can tie them to. Get us a little mechanics wire. And we're going to tie them up, okay, to the strut. Wire around here. And bring them over here and make sure they hold right to the side. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, got my mechanics wire wrapped up around bracket right there. And now, what we need to do is separate, get our cooling lines off of the oil filler because we need to remove this right here. So take a flat screwdriver and go right between there and twist it counterclockwise or clockwise. And that thing should come right off in your light.
Yeah. Mm.
Huh?
Okay.
Alright. So got that off of there. Great. Get that out of the way. And you know what, guys? Check this out with me. You know what I'm gonna do? Instead of tying our hoses up there, let's push our hoses down. Let's push these hoses out of the way. Yeah, that's right. We can see it right there. Now we can see our bolts and all. Maybe. Maybe. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we got 3 8mm or 5/16 bolts holding our oil filler neck on. This one's gonna be a deep. So, what's the best way of getting this done? You know what the best way of getting this done is? Let's see if that's going to get in there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right, 8mm deep, 3/8 drive, 3/8 drive ratchet, and I think better if you had a 1/4 inch. And let's take those out. We got 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's get those out and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I took 1 bolt out. Then I noticed instead of 3, there is actually 4. The one way down there. So we're gonna change up our game plan. Check this out. What I got here is an 18-inch 1/4 inch drive extension, and I got my 8mm 1/4 inch drive swivel socket. And I'm gonna get them just like this. Go down here. Dang, that thing is tight. Okay, I'm gonna get that one. Then I can get this one, and this one's already loose. And for the deep, what I'm gonna do here is get my 1/4 inch drive swivel extension, put it onto there with my deep 8mm 1/4 inch drive socket, and I'll be able to go right there and disconnect that one. Now, before we get all those off, what I'm gonna do is take some rags, just in case there's some oil up under there, and I'm gonna stick the rags up under there so it can catch any. And if you want, you can put a drain pan up under that as well. All right, so let's do that, and we'll be right back to take this off. All right, guys, we got all the 4 bolts out. And what we're gonna do is just grab this and, oh, good, nothing came out. And there's a gasket in there, and that gasket is gonna come with your O-ring set. And let's get this out of here because I want to make sure none of this falls into there. And what we'll do is shake our rag off and stick our rag into there so nothing comes out of there. Or goes in, nothing comes out. Alright, now we're gonna put this to the side, and the next thing we're gonna do is take out air hose and blow all this stuff out of here because we don't want none of that getting under that valve cover. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, guys, we are down to the nitty-gritty. That's what they call it, the nitty-gritty. The valve cover. Same thing as on the other side. We got our 2 setups. Now, the bolt way over there in the corner, back there, that's a regular bolt that don't have a stud on the end. So let's get that one first, since that's the most difficult. And get back there. Perfect. Cool. Okay, got that. Now the one next up under there, that sucks. It happened to be a deep, so I'm gonna go to my deep one now. And let's see if we can work around this hose. And that hose is in the way, so I might have to push on, go on this side of the hose. Nope, not on the way. I want it on the way. Because this thing is, you know what? I can go between the hoses. I mean, why did I put a deep one back here, man? It's like light one out. Really? All right, let me get this line up in there, guys. I'll be right back. All right, finally got it on there. All right. And we're gonna go around and just take off the other ones. And get to these bottom ones first, since they're the most difficult to get to. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all the bolts loose, and Sylvia reminded me to remind you, make sure all your injectors are turned. Now, guys, as again, there is, looking at it, there is a little bit of room, so it looks like the valve cover can come out of there without hitting those, but do you want to take a chance? All right, let's take our screwdriver. Let's go over here and pop this loose. See if this comes out right. Perfect. All right. And this is that, look at this ground strap back here. So we got to make sure that ground strap is definitely out of the way when we go to put this cover back on. Make sure that cover is not in the way where you know, it's going right there. I should just disconnect that thing. Well, it's pushed out of the way. We'll be good. Matter of fact, I might tuck it around the other one just to be sure, so it don't get in the way. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take a rag and wipe all this off right here, and then, just like before, pop this valve cover out, pop the grommets out, and we're gonna change those over. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we started taking these out, but I forgot, you know, and good thing I caught it. Mark where the ones where the studs are. All right, also taking these out, we found a little quick way of doing this. Take the screwdriver, the flat screwdriver, just stick it right between the grommet and the valve cover, twist it, and pop them right out. All right, so now let's get those changed over, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our valve cover up here, 4 brand new grommets, and we're gonna lower this down in there. We want to make sure we get past, push past those grommets. I mean, not the grommets, the ground wires. Dang it, a bolt fell out. That's okay. We can still get it. 2 bolts fell out. We'll get them. All right. We are down. Now, check this. Make sure this ground wire, the strap, is out of the way. And it is. And what I'm going to do is take my hand, these 2 bolts up here, I'm going to turn them in. And the one back here to keep this lined up. Great. Get all these turned in. And let me go up under there and get our 2 bolts that we dropped. Be right back. Alright, guys, we got all the bolts started by hand. And now what we're going to do is tighten those up. We're going to start from the 2 center ones right about here. And as you can see, I took my mechanics wire and I brung my hoses out to here. Tied them over to the side as much as possible. And that way I can get to these a heck of a lot better. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten up this one. Then get the deep and go to this one. Then we're gonna go up and do that same counterclockwise position and get all those tightened up. All right. Oh, this one I didn't start all the way. This one ain't started. I want to make sure this one is in there. And turn it by a couple threads. Don't give me no hard time. Dang it, man. This is gonna give me a hard time. Because I got that hose in the way here. But we can remedy that. You know what? I'm not even gonna use the extension on this one. I mean the swivel. Go straight. There we go. Alright, that one's down. Alright, let's get those tightened up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now let's change the gasket to our oil filler right here. And you're gonna get your little pick. You're gonna stick that in there. And pull that out. And that's dry rotted. Get your new one. It doesn't matter which side you put it in. And you just want to get that pushed in all the way around into place. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to take the rag out where we stuck the rag at, and we're going to wipe all this up over here. Alright, let's do that and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get this up here. Just got our 4 8mm bolts. And we're going to put them in by a couple threads, so that way it won't cross thread it. And then the one with the stud on it goes right down here. Get this thing lined up. Okay, let's get our others two in and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I got 2 of them tightened up, and I just want to make sure you know about doing this. Tightening these up, that's all you want to do. Bring it in till it stops and turn it just slightly, just a little bit more. Alright, and for the bottom one, we're going to be using our swivel 1/4 inch drive with our deep 8mm. And let's get that tightened up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got that done. Let's get our connector right here to hold our whole hoses into place. Dang, I have a little problem with that. There we go. Alright, get that on. That is done. The next thing we're going to do is take our injectors and turn them all straight. And again, there's clips on these, and you want to make sure these clips, you can tell when they're in the place. All the clips are going to be straight out facing the valve cover. If not, you don't got that lined up right. All right? This one, and let's get these done and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're gonna get our hose and get it up there. Matter of fact, let me see if I'm gonna go right there, make sure it's gonna be out of our way. This hose gotta go up under here and like that. Alright, we got our new hose because this one's messed up. Let's see if this, dang it. So we're gonna cut this off and then we're gonna put our new hose up there. Alright, let's get that new hose put up there. We'll be right back. Alright, we got our new hose on. Let's go back here. We gotta situate this because this has gotta turn into the air cleaner, so that's still off a little bit. That's about right. Perfect. Look at that. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is start from the back. We're gonna bring our harness back over. Dang it. Actually, I should have waited because this harness goes up under this. So we're gonna get our harness up under here to bring it over to our computer. And we're gonna start from the back. And remember this harness back here to get it over that coil, to make sure, get over that coil like that. There we go. Whoops, got one of them, that's for that. All right, now starting from the back, let's start connecting our coils and injectors until we get all the way up to the front. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our harness looking great coming up this way. Now we're gonna bring the rest of our harness over this way. Because what we're gonna connect is our map sensor. Push that down, lock the tab in the way. Our coolant sensor, which is down here. Put that to the clicks into place. Good. And our AC compressor. Put that in. Lock the tab into place. That is great. The next thing we're gonna do, we got our harness going down to our camshaft positioning sensor and our crankshaft positioning sensor. And we're gonna lower it down right between the holes right here. Getting kind of dark out here, ain't it?
Yep.
We're gonna lower it down there. Great. And well, we gotta go up there under there and plug that up, but we'll do that in a minute. The next thing we'll do, we got our harness going over here to our computer. And we got this little tab. Let's get this up. I'm just gonna go right here. Let's get this pushed on right here. And as we got our connectors marked, we are good to go. So we're gonna start off on number 4. It's the furthest away. Take your time and line these up and make sure that it is good. And then you'll hear it click. 4, 3, listen for the click. 2 and 1. And when you do that, the red tab right on the top, push it forward towards the computer. And that's gonna lock it into place. All right, the next one right here, lock it into place. All right, let's get these other 2 and we'll be right back. All right, guys, while we up here, let's go over here and get our bar back into place and get this bolted on by the 4 18mm nuts. Our battery going dead on the flashlight, so we're gonna change that.
Okay,
we're gonna change that as well. All right, so let's get this bolted up and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are ready. What we got here, let's go over here, 18mm deep. Let's tighten those bolts up. And while we got that tighten up, let's get our harness back over here and push that into place. Perfect. All right, here we go over here and tighten those 2 up. Let's tighten them up and we'll be right back. All right, guys, next thing we do, let's take our 10mm bolt out right here and let's get our cruise control hooked up. Goes around here. All right, get our bolt in there. Get that started. Okay, we're gonna tighten that up, and then we got our vacuum hose right here. Make sure that sticks right in there, just like that. Perfect. Got our wiring harness right here. Let's hook this up, the connector, pick it up, and then lock it into place. All right, let's get that tightened up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, let's get our expansion tank. And more than likely, you did not remove yours. So why I'm showing you I'm putting this back, I have no idea. But in case you do, check this out. You see this little opening right here? See how it's made like a, what's made that's made like a little hourglass or something? Not an hourglass, a teardrop, I don't know, whatever. The bottom of the expansion tank looks like this. So you have to push that tab down in the first part and then push back. All right, so let's get our 8mm bolt over here. Start that. And our plastic one over here, you don't have to twist that on. That's all you have to do. You just push it on just like that. All right, got our 8mm deep. Let's go ahead, tighten that up. Done. Take our hose, connect our hose on it, then release our vice grips. Good. Done. The next thing we're gonna do is let's jack this vehicle up and then go up under it and connect our cam sensor and crank sensor. We'll be right back. All right, guys, real quick. We're up under the vehicle. Looking straight up, there's our cam sensor. So let's go over here and connect that. As soon as you get somewhere to get your hands at. All right, and then the harness is gonna go over the motor mount towards the back, and here's that little clip right here, that little Christmas tree clip. It clicks on right to the top of the motor mount bracket. Just snap that into place. Nope, still get it. My hands are here. Matter of fact, let's go back here. There's our crank sensor right there. So let's fill back here for our harness. Here it is. And let's go up there, connect that. Now, it should be right there to connect that into place. And you definitely want to do that because that exhaust manifold is there. So it keeps the harness away from the exhaust manifold. Got it. All right, we're gonna put our shield back up. You already know what to do on that. And tighten up those bolts, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now for the coup de grace. Yeah, buddy. Let's get our air cleaner. Here's our clamp over here. Make sure that clamp is nice and loose. And you know what, guys? I do not like that. Inside the throttle body looks a little dirty. I want to clean that up. A dirty throttle body right on there will definitely cause this thing to shut off at idle sometimes. So we're gonna clean that up a little bit. And then we got the bolt holes right there, 1 and 2, where our two 10mm bolts go to. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and push this on. Make sure this thing is on. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Get that up there. Make sure our two 10mm bolts will go in there. They're going right there. Make sure they are going, screwing in with no problem. And you notice I'm putting them in by hand. Okay, that's one. And I'll go over here to the other side.
Well, I showed them that one before. They should know where it is.
There we go right here. And we got our air temperature sensor right here. We're going to plug that up in a minute. Let's get in there and get that bolt in there. Great, cool. All right, let's tighten those two up and we'll be right back. All right, guys, last but not least, let's tighten up this clamp. Make sure this clamp is nice and tight. All right, let's tighten this up and we'll be right back. All right, guys, the last part. Got our holes right here. We got our clips over here that's holding this into place. You see those little holes right there? You got these tabs on the cover. It goes in there and then brought down. So let's put our holes on first. Let's get this down there. In, down, and then these clips, you gotta bring them up over top of it and then just latch that down. Same with the other side over here. latch that down, and don't forget about this hose. All right, guys, you are done. Just tighten up this clamp, and we are done.
You have to connect your battery.
Oh yeah, that's right. Gotta connect our battery too. So let's connect this. Let's tighten this clamp up, and then go over there and connect our battery. Be right back. All right, guys. Let's hook up the negative terminal of the battery. Have your key handy just in case the alarm goes off. Okay, it didn't. Got a 10 millimeter. Let's tighten this up.